In this tip, we'll see how to calculate the length of the longest line using the WC command. Let us see a few examples. So using the uppercase L option, you will get the length of the longest line in the input. The new line character is not included in this value. So you can see there are 5 characters. So the output is 5. Next, let's see an example with multiple input lines. So the first line has 5 characters and the second line has 6 characters. And the output is 6 because the uppercase L option returns the length of the longest line. Let us see an example for file input. So again, there are 2 lines and 15 is the length of the longest line. Next, let us see what happens when multiple input files are passed. So you will get the result for each of the input files as well as a final line showing which was the longest length among all these 3 input files. Next, let us see a few gotchas when you use the uppercase L option. First, the tab characters are converted to equivalent spaces. So let us see how it affects the calculation using some examples. If you provide just the tab character as input, so this can occupy up to 8 columns. So the output is 8. If there are other characters in the input, here the tab character will occupy 7 columns because there is a single character before the tab character. And after that there is another character. So total it should report 9. If you want the tab character to be counted as only 1, then you will have to reach for alternate solutions. For example, the awk command. So here you will get 3 as the output because there are only 3 different characters. Next, the non-printable characters are not even counted. For example, the \34 is a non-printable character. If you use awk, it will still count this character, so you will get the output as 3. But if you use the uppercase L option, you will get only 2 as the output because this character is not counted at all. One thing to note is this particular awk command counts the length only for the individual lines. The L option returns the longest length for the entire input. In such cases, if you want to use the awk command, you can calculate the length for each input line and then maintain a variable which keeps updating whenever an input line's length is greater than the previous max value. At the end of the input, you can print that value. Next, let us see some examples with multi-byte input characters and grapheme clusters. So if the current locale supports multi-byte characters, then each of these characters will be counted as only 1. So there are 6 characters here, so the output is 6. Here's an example with grapheme cluster. So such clusters occupy more than one multi-byte code point, but the uppercase L option will still count such characters as only 1. If the locale does not support multi-byte characters, then they will be treated as non-printable characters. So in this case, the output will be 0. Hope you found this tip useful.